much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain. Good evening on this Monday, April 25th, 2022. The time is 11:46 p.m. and welcome to Early in the A.M. with Esha. Cleaned my sheets. Just feels good. Sleeping on fresh sheets. So good. Oh yeah. Today I want to talk about what I always talk about, being strong when the situation is tough, and you just gotta just prepare for the hard hits and just keep rolling with life. Also, I've been into YouTube. You know, I watch YouTube a lot, but for the past 2 days, my mom and I have been watching two ladies on YouTube who have very sophisticated styles, and they are just educated in the art of clothing and fashion and putting pieces together and knowing what to put with certain outfits to complete them. Because one thing I don't have is I can put a shirt with a pant. I have no idea if that requires a tule, like the little neck scarf, if it requires a certain type of pocketbook or a shoe, if it requires a vest or a hat, certain type of jewelry, if it requires like a vest or anything like that. So these two ladies are Angela's Fashion Mix, and she's out of Virginia, and the second is Ida's Idea. She's out of Washington, D.C. Fabulous pieces. The style, they are resting you to describe who they are, like your fabulous aunties. Like, you know, when these aunties come around, it's like a fashion show, a style icon. You just got to make sure at least the outfit you have on, if it's at least ironed, you won't feel too embarrassed. Just like the sight of them makes you want to step your game up, or just sit down and pay attention, just to see where, if you can compare anything you have to it, where you can fix yourself and maybe be just a little bit better that day. Just a little bit brighter, no matter what it is, just to pick it up and to keep going. Oh, another thing I gotta tell you is a little secret I found out. I usually don't disclose beauty secrets, but today I am. Because me personally, I break out. I have little breakouts during the time of the month, and during allergy season, my face breaks out. And what I've learned to do, because I'm just tired of popping the things and then causing scars on my face. And everybody's been telling you everything. Just put this on it, put that on it. But what has been working for me for the past couple of months is I came up with out of the blue just to see if it would work. You take your toothpaste and you rub it into the problem area. Like you rub it in as if you would rub it in lotion. And then what you do with that, you take a small bit of Vaseline and you seal the toothpaste into the area. Don't rub the Vaseline in. Just put it over it so it coats the pores and it keeps the pores from drying out with the toothpaste. And what your skin will do is like a steam bath. Like your skin will sweat underneath the Vaseline. And then the mint from the toothpaste, your pores open more in the sweating, and then the toothpaste gets to the area faster. And it can help kill and cure up the area faster. I did it. I was having a breakout on, I think it was like right on my chin. Like on the chin, like between like this, my cheek and my chin, like almost on the side of my face in that area. And I did it, and literally overnight, like the thing went down. Like it was one of those breakouts where it's not really a pimple where it's coming to a head, but the whole area seemed to be swelling and it just wasn't coming to a head. I hate those. And then it did start coming to a head, and I saw like it was more like a blackhead type of thing than anything. Child, I put that toothpaste on it and I rubbed it in like lotion. And Then I took that Vaseline and I just went right over it, like covered the area so it couldn't get it. Now all night it's a little irritating though. I kept waking up because the area was like I could feel that my part of my face sweating, like it was irritated, but it was just that little area. It wasn't anywhere else. But when I got up the next morning and I looked in the mirror, oh my God. Like I wiped the area off and the thing went down like 80%. Like literally overnight. It works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but that's my little thingamajig. Hopefully it'll help, with stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. I don't know what else to say. Still applying for jobs and looking for work. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm ready, but at the same time, I feel like I'm in another universe. Like I'm kind of stuck behind this social media wheel, and I don't know how to turn it so that I can join the movement. I know I'm kind of doing this, and this is, this kind of been a flop, but it's a start. Not everything is a success right out the gate, but I'm trying. I'm being positive no matter what obstacles I face. Even when it's physically obvious I'm not having a good time, I still, even though when I know I'm losing in that moment, I still wait it out. Because a lot of times you just can't hide the way you feel, and I just wait it out. And as soon as I feel a clearing, as soon as it's there, I just take that breath and I just keep it pushing. And I do it all the time that way. Yeah, so went through my closet. Yeah, after I watched Miss Angela's channel last night, oh my goodness, I came in my room and literally stayed up to almost 1 o'clock in the morning going through my clothes. I wanted to see if I had any type of glimpse of style like she had. I was looking through all my clothes. I have a couple of pieces. I'm like, oh, okay, I can feel proud of myself about this. But a lot of my clothing is very laid back. It's very farm girl. Like I love wide leg pants with Converse sneakers. I love overalls with either sandals or sneakers. I've just been that way my whole life. I don't really know anywhere else. But I do have a lot of other feminine styles, but they're very far and few between. I have a lot of stuff to wear, like to an office job, but I will never wear that stuff outside of the office. Like on my casual day, I'd have on, overalls and sneakers. Or, it depends, who I'm with and where I'm going with. I'll dress it up a little. Like I'll switch out a sneaker and I'll put on a boot. But it's very relaxed. And I kind of want to step my game up, but that takes such intrinsic, intricacy. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot of that, to really push, to really get into the details and to really pay attention to color details and seasonal details and what the weather calls for and what the holiday would call for, what is trending. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of paying attention to detail. I don't know if there's anything else. Believe me, throughout my whole day, I be stressing about so many things. But it's like as soon as I go to put it on the spot to talk about it openly like this, my mind goes blank. It's like I can't pull it up like I want to. And I think that's so scary. It's like behind the scenes of something and you're stressing and you're putting all this work in and you set up this whole stage, but as soon as you open the curtains, it's like the scene disappears and it's like you didn't just do all that work behind the scenes and it's just not there. And then there's an audience of people like, okay, what is this? And it's like, oh my God, like I'm sweating my behind off. I put all this work together and then I open the curtains and it's like nothing there. I go through that so much, I don't even know what it's called. When you work for things and then you forget them on the spot. And I do it all the time. Yeah, I've been thinking about going back to work a lot. I've been filling out applications, mostly for part-time work. I don't think I can go back to work full-time yet because I have an elderly parent, which I don't talk about a lot. And she requires a different kind of care. It's a different kind of personal care because of trust issues and things like that. It's more in that nature of emotional and behavior and psychological, you know what I mean? Just a trust partner there so there's a constant connection so things don't go awry. And I have to be there with her for that. But I do have hours of the day on my own. But because I don't really, have the means to do anything, to go to poetry clubs and read my poetry or, hang out with people, I pretty much just stay in. So I do have like 4 to 5 hours a day to work. And there's this perfect job at the government center in the city where I live. And they're hiring for a data support specialist. And that happens to fall in the category of careers where I got my degree in, which is public administration. So it's for like 20 hours a week, whatever. It pays, a certain amount of money, and it's really good pay, for the work that they're asking for. So I submitted an application for that job today. Like 100 other applications I've submitted in. Keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping for the best. That's all I can do. Because it's that type of job where you work only 4 hours. And it may be from like an 8 to 12 or 10 to 2. So it's like, in the morning I get to, make sure the coffee's made. And then by the time I get home, that parent will be up, dressed. And then I can do everything else, the shopping and the cooking dinner and getting breakfast ready for the next day. Just keeping the ball rolling that way. So she has some time to herself. And then I have a little personal space. And then, when that air gets in there, it clears things out on its own. And it helps, create a better, reciprocity or something circles around and it cleans things out. Circular, like a circular rhythm, and it creates a very clearer air apparent, and there's more breathing room between the two parties, so things aren't so toxic. Because one thing COVID did make the households of people very toxic. A lot of people weren't used to being around each other so much all the time under a social stress of rules and things like that, and that brought a lot of toxic environments into the home that wasn't normally there. Because normally with people having jobs, there's always space there, and workings there, air comes in and it keeps certain things clear. So it's like everybody has a working space between them, and it's all good. Same thing with my parent and I. We both worked. We both had a lot of time away from ourselves where we built other relationships. So there was always a clearer air between us. But us having to be, pushed together and then shut down for like 2 years it's been since I've been unemployed. It got very toxic. Very toxic. And, we had to endure it. The battles came up and we had to fight and ignore and argue and just bite the bullet and just, till something cleared out and something came in. You know what I mean? It's a lot of punch taking and rolling down hills and biting your tongue and just taking the humility and just being grown about the situation and understanding that the predicament you're in now and what it could be if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, and you're relying on someone to help you and you can't feel the way you want to feel because it's the responsibility over the feeling. It's always the responsibility over the feeling. And I'm about to be 43 next month. I am a Taurus baby, and I'm going to be 43. And as a writer and a content creator, my feelings are the first thing I think about. It's what I voice to you. But when it comes to paying my bills and just being a grown-up about things, taking all that energy from that top plate and putting it underneath can be very stressful. It requires, an exercising, and the most important thing is space between you and, the people in your life. That space that lets you get some air in and clear your thoughts so that you come back. You're like, okay, I'm refreshed. I feel better. That type of thing. But I've been filling out applications for the past 2 years, and I've only been called back twice. Out of like 100 applications, I've gotten 2 callbacks, and it's only because for the past 20 years I've been